You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want: unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa. So, welcome everyone. Good evening. Here live on the Pan-African Daily TV. Yes, I want to apologize for the late state. Actually, it is my fault. Understand? It is my fault that we are late today because Aisha, as you can see, sitting there in the studio, has been here very, very punctual. I mean, I don't know what kind of a breed is this princess sitting here right in the studio with us. I mean, she's so punctual, which is very unusual. You know us with our African time and stuff like that. So, but like I said, I'm really sorry, truly appreciating you joining us now on this conversation, wherever you're connecting from the mainland continent, from the diaspora in the Caribbean, in Europe, in UK, wherever you're watching us, please make sure you connect and share this conversation extensively, because today is the day where our young people begin to inspire us through their amazing stories. Okay. And then getting back to the conversation yesterday, I just want to give a very, very good and positive feedback. I mean, the powerful conversation yesterday with our elder, Reverend Dr. Nina Na Kweku, has been positively rated by the community, by the followers. I mean, the session, his lectures, his articulation, the main topic about why conversation is actually, or communication is the tool that we need in point and to actually build the Africa that we want, and that we should actually refrain from this Eurocentric psychology, but to actually look at the diversity and the power of our Africanness, of our Afrocentric orientation, to begin to build our psychology in that direction. Then, in this aspect, it's a lot of healing that we are going through this process now. So we need to communicate, to connect, and to face, if possible, particularly in areas where COVID is acting friendly now. We rely on this contact to contact, face to face people, right? We are handshakers. So I want to congratulate everyone that joined that show yesterday, and people have been rating it up to now. But one also technical issues that we had was our viewers on Facebook could not actually catch up with us in time, and I don't know why they disconnect anyway. But like we say, we do the productions even today. It's gonna stay here, and so you can always click subscribe and continue to watch the Pan-African Daily TV for updates and live programs on our TV channel. So today we have a very interesting story, a live experience with actually the person concerned sitting here. It's not like we relate to stories or people pick stories about others. I mean, we know about the Gambia, isn't it? Gambia is not a new topic, particularly in terms of youth and leadership. Gambia is actually one of the prominent countries when we're talking about youth voices for advocacy. But we also understand that Gambia as a country itself, just like any other African country, is going through a lot of challenges. And so reaching out to the real Gambians themselves on the ground, the grassroots, right? And to listen to these amazing, incredible stories, how they break the barriers, how they champion their leadership style, how they take the lead into their hands and define the kind of Gambia and Africa that they want. It is all about individuality. It is all about the values and the person who you are. It is really less about the systems. Yes, they're playing their own role, they're putting their own structure, but on Pan-Africanism, we're talking about the individual itself. And I think we had that lecture enough yesterday from Reverend Dr. Ninana, who said it starts with you. Aisha is here. We're going to listen to her amazing story. I mean, when I listened to her, I was like, you know what? I can't share this passion and this advocacy and this story alone. I have to invite the community, like in the village setup, and all of us, we have this conversation together. So she's right here. She's going to be telling us everything. I don't want to even repeat even her name. Probably I'm not going to call it rightly like she's going to do. So I will leave her because we have enough time to digest, to enjoy this princess here. I mean, to feel her power, to learn from her, to listen to her, to embrace her, to celebrate her. It is passionate, and I'm overexcited, particularly because it is this youth and this young Africa that we're looking. And if Africa themselves, the youth, begin to redefine even what we are not able as elders, as the middle age, to give it over to them, they seize it from us and they run with it, we can only sit back and just clap to them. And Aisha is one of those that has made it, like Ousman Touray, we all know, like every other young people out there, like Star Moore, who is the youngest on the Pan African Daily, to say, you know what, my generation, we are moving forward. That is the spirit that we want on the Pan African Daily. So I hope all of us are connected on that very long intro. Yes. I hope we are all connected. We're comfortable. I hope that all the Facebookers are watching me from the different sources that we're streaming from. I also hope that my YouTubers, I mean, these are the most faithful ones that I have. I mean, even if Facebook will leave us, YouTube followers are always very, very, on spot. They are truly the African that we want to be. So if you want to be a member of this powerful, faithful team that is loyal to the process of building the Africa that we want, please make sure you click subscribe and click the notification bells. That's why you're updated each time we come live in case of technical delays or in case of even break-ins that we're announcing on the program, or in case, just in case, yes, you get notified anytime soon. So thank you so very much. I hope we're ready to go. Back to studio with ISATOU JALLOW Ayesha. Welcome, Princess. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yeah, sure. You're good.
Thank you. I like your yes, sure. You're good to go. I mean, that's the spirit. Even just the first word, we're already excited to know who you are. Aisha, how are you today? What did you do today? Just give me a rundown of your program, what you did today from morning to now, sitting here in the studio.
All right. Good to be here. It feels good to be on this Pan-African platform. I feel so honored to be given the opportunity to be with you, Dr. Susan Tata. It's a whole privilege for me, and I am really grateful. Today I've had a very busy schedule. Trying to run so many things on my own, from school, trying to do some work for myself, from there having to run some few errands. Yes.
I mean, it sounds like an independent, dependent person that decides his schedules and like no entanglement, isn't it? Like you have to get up, you decide what you have to do, you plan your life. Nobody's gonna ask you where you're going to, where you're coming up. Is that what it sounds like? A student life?
Yes, kind of. It does. So I still have that whole student life, whereby I really have to go after my books and then my notes every day. Apparently, I am on my exams, so I also have exams ongoing at the University of the Gambia.
Okay. Now I get the point. So you're on an exam, so we see your shadows and just like. But could you imagine, way back as you were growing up? Did you ever had the did you ever had to dream like you would be attending this period in your life where you have to decide for yourself, where you have to make decisions, what you even choose to study, and how you want to see the world? Could you imagine that?
Not really. And then I believe that I did not really have like all the opportunities to do like opportunities that I really wanted, but I did like had to create them on my own, because like I never thought that I would even complete high school, and then today I am in my university pursuing my bachelor's degree. So for me, it has been like a whole journey. It's been rough, it's been tough, it's been like challenging. I am from a very much conservative, at the same time at the whole very much cultured background. I am a Fulani tribe. I am sure like people watching will know like if you just talk about Fulas, actually what it means. It is like a big tribe, like in Africa, across Africa, I can say. And then like in most cases, we have been trained like to be like mothers. Actually, we are not being trained like to come up and then just be literate. So basically, growing up as a whole girl child, it was one of like the most difficult things for me, because actually like I was trained like to be a wife, actually, because there is this whole mentality of like going to school might not really last for you. You might really get through school, but again you might just stop around middle school, and then now the like first and then now the like first phase of your life will be you like having a husband. Like it is either going to be on an arranged marriage or a child marriage arrangement, or else forced marriages, whereby like you like as the girl child, you're not being given like the chance for you to choose your spouse. Instead it is just going to be finger pointed for you, and then like you really have no options. And then what really make it much more difficult is there is that high rate of patriarchy within, whereby like our mothers does not really have to get like have the say in the family. It is all being like given to the men. There's that whole power of decision making focused on men. So for me, like as a girl child growing up, I really had this spirit. I really had this focus for myself that I really want to be somebody someday. I really want people to sit and then still watch me through this like through the TV. I really want to be somebody that like people will pinpoint and then like still look at like as a whole motivation. So for me, it was like more or less like changing like the entire narrative. Because today I would say like I am the first girl child in my family who have completed like high school, and then also getting to university, and then like pursuing like my degree, right? So I do have like a lot of siblings out there. I have really seen cousins like who have really stopped from their middle school, and then like apparently they're all married. But I really like chose a whole different path. I was given choices of like like getting a husband and then still going to school, and I still chose going to school. And then like even like with that, I was still like deprived of financial support and everything, but I still had to choose this path for myself. So I could remember like some 7 years ago, I don't think I would have really sat down here right now and then talking to you with this interview. I could have been like a mother of 4 kids and then like a whole dropout from school. But I really chose this path for me. Thanks to my mom, she is late. But I pray wherever she is that her soul continues to rest in perfect peace, because she have really fought through with me through all the struggle of really saving me from that marriage today. So it was actually one of the toughest decisions for me, like to make. And then I could remember, fast forward to that, I used to be like a kid who really did all my school life, kindergarten, primary school, all through private schools. But when things started changing, and I saw like where things were heading to, because of like I was now trying to get in, in most cases once you get 13, you will just like get that whole puberty stage, and then like from then you have been viewed differently culturally. They will see you to be somebody who is already like fit for marriage, right? And then like if you talk of a child, or like if we were to like go back to the whole definition of a child, according to the according to the UN Charter, like for children, it is telling you that like a child is anybody from the age of 0 to 18. So then all this while I have been like below 18, but again like to them, I am already fit enough for a marriage life and everything. But that was not like the game for me. Like the game for me was for me to change the narrative, like for me to show them, you know what, you can still make choices, but again those choices will not really affect me, my goals, my dreams, like my ambitions. Nothing comes my way. I really have to go and pursue them and then still get them. And I am really much proud of myself today that I have really made it this far. And then I just want to send this message out. I'm not sure if at all it is the right time for me to say this, like every girl out there right now, that it's your life, it's your path. You choose it for yourself, no matter how difficult it is. Even if it is like coming like down to a whole financial challenge, that should like you should not see those as challenges. You should always try to get your way through. So like I said, it's been a very challenging and then like a very rough journey. Even though I've had people who have come along the way to support and then still groom me along, but like I would say, it was my own journey, myself alone, that who was able to fight it through. And thanks to my mom, she did not really get to witness me graduating up from high school, but she's been an integral part of my journey today. And then I have one person that I met that I really want to call on right now. That is like Nick. That is like Nick Rocker. He's like apparently watching right now. He's been really supportive from the get go. Actually, from my own US trip, he's been like one of the professors that I have met in Chicago. And then since then, that was like way in 2014, he's been absolutely supportive. He's been there mentally, physically, psychologically for me, financially, and I am really much grateful, Papa Nick. I'm sure that he must be smiling right now. This is your girl today, and I'm very pleased to be here.
Whew. Um, Thank you so much. You said something. I want us to go to the basics. I don't want to like put you on that, but these are things that you have to talk about them in order to actually like move forward. What was the situation with your mother in instance of this? I mean, she went through the same thing, like you just trained to be married, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, like for my mom too, I would say she was like a victim of child marriage because of like looking at her age and then like to how many kids that was, that are there apparently. So and then like each time that I just look at her, I do find motivation for myself because of like I really wanted to be that girl child who was gonna make her smile, who was gonna make her like make her realize about like the whole world of education. So like as a child growing up, I did not like really find anything that was really gonna change my life than my school, than my education. And then like she's been absolutely supportive in it. So then like for her, she was, yes, like she's not like she was not literally educated, right? But like she was one person who was like very open-minded. Like she was one person that like I could really have conversations with, and then like I could really convince her from the get-go. So and then as a child growing up, I think she really molded me into being like into being this lady that I am being today, because he's been absolutely supportive, and then like he's been like a whole guiding for me through school, right? So it was, and like why I really mentioned about the whole child marriage case, it was because it was not like even brought to my notice. She was told that I had a cousin who was like asking for my hand in marriage, and then like everybody was hiding it from me. For her, she felt it, and then like she called me, cornered me, and sat me down. I could remember vividly on this day. I was like actually on my way to school around like 7 a.m. in the morning, and then she was like on a whole praying math, where I did, sat with her, and then like she did explain, what, I'm like, this is the situation right now. And then like I'm like, can you please support me through this? Can you please go and tell my dad and then like another family member that I really want to go and complete my education, like for whole whatever that it takes. It is fine, that like this is part that I choose for myself. And I think I was given an option of them really backing out from like paying my school fees, and I was like, it's fine, I will still try, and then get my school fees paid. For so where that I was gonna get it, I did not know then, because this was like a whole problem on my head. But like when I went back to school, I bumped into one organization called like Staff is International, apparently. So then like I had to go through like a whole interview with them, and then like pass it on. And then like that was how like I was like enrolled into that organization. Okay, Staff is International, it is like an organization that supports girls like girls education, and then like they do also train you on entrepreneurship skills, and then like other like livelihood skills. But like before staffs came into the picture, I could remember settling like my first school fees for my like seventh grade, where I did have to go and mold bricks. So like where I was going to school then, there was this warehouse that was whole like under construction, right? So then so when I had this whole payment of school fees was not just going to be on my side anymore, I really had to find out means of like getting those funds for myself and on my own, and then just to go and get my school fees paid. So then I could remember walking into a whole mason shop and then like asking them, what can I do, and then like how much money can I make in a day. So like I could remember at the age of 15 14, I was like out there on the streets molding bricks, and then like I would get paid just like $100 or more of that. And then like to their surprise, they were surprised that like as a girl I was really willing like to like do that whole hard labor, because of like those are jobs meant for men, meant for guys, meant for boys. But I went there because of like of the whole situation. And then gladly enough I was able to raise those funds and then like get my school fees paid then, until like when I met Staffis International, that they did funded like my school fees from my like 8th grade to my 9th grade. So that was how shaky it is, but I did made it through. I'm not getting you. Your mic is muted.
All right.
Sorry.
When you look, yes, it's okay. When you look back at the whole situation, do you really think it's a problem of inability for your school fees to be raised, or you think it's just a kind of like a punishment that you have to subdue that?
Well, I feel that like I just feel that I was just like given an option, and then like this like option for me was for me to decide like how I really wanted my life to be henceforth, and I really choose that path. At some point, too, I will also refer to it like as a whole punishment, because of like those funds could have been provided to me easily, but then I was still deprived from it as a result of not really taking up their decision that they have decided on my behalf that I should go and settle down with a man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was some kind of punishment. You do it or you're left on your own. You're abandoned to the decision that you want to make at the age of 15. Um, you told me something, and I really look at it back. I love that passion of you not giving up on your mother. Like you said something that I really like us to share together. Like even when you went on those seminars to try to see how you can get your way, you came now to educate your mom on that process. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, sure, I did. Yes, and I think I could remember also, when we spoke to, I was telling you about like the female circumcision aspect of it, like which I am a victim of. I really had this when I was around 9 years old. I could still remember like the whole incident of how it happened, how I was circumcised as a girl child, and then like unfortunately this is part of my own tribal practices as a fuller, and then like I should really go through it, and then like any other girl child within my family or like beyond, as far as like you're a fuller, you should still practice it. Even though like in the Gambia, we still have some other tribes that doesn't practice like female circumcision or like female genital mutilation, right? So then I did also happens to be like a victim of it. I think it was one of the darkest nights for me. I was young, but like I can still feel the pain. Like it was absolutely out of this world, right? So and then like these have been, there has been so much misconceptions around this. At the same time, there are so many beliefs surrounding this, accompanied with some cultural practices or like some cultural beliefs that people have that if you do not really go through this process, you're not clean as a woman. So then like this is the whole mentality that people have around female circumcision. So I think this is also like a whole other phase of my life for me as a girl child growing up, like having to endure like a whole 1 month, like just being seated down and then like being mutilated. And then like one of the most saddest part of it is that they do not use like medically approved medications like for them to like really apply around your cervix and everything. Instead, like they use their own local charms and everything, and then that can really expose you to so many healthy like health dangerous disease or like infections that you can have along the way.
On that subject about circumcision, we're doing a research on it from the team to really get some aspect to think about where does that origin of the culture come from. We're just talking from the facial point of view, but I think it's a deep concept that we would have to get experts to actually tell us, is this really an original African construct concept, or it's another kind of an agenda that has been inherited and then I mean, jealously embracing it and practicing it and loving it. And so we are still trying to really, we will get an expert on that because it's not really only for the female, but it's also for the male circumcision. Is that really proper? What are the hygienic or what is even the essence of that? I am not an expert really, but I just think, like you're saying, at the age of 9 is so gruesome. I can imagine when you tell me you're going, you still feel the pain, and just like, how did we even come to this issue of like, taking my eye off without my opinion or without even, or because you believe that my eye is going to cause me to sin. So those are some of the things that, like I said, we need to get. We're getting some expert scholars to give us the origin of all this kind of practices, and which today we actually term it the African traditions or cultures. We want to know the historical aspect of where these origins are coming from. Why is it only in a certain culture and not others? Other countries in Africa, particularly like I can remember Kenya is actually abolishing that, and it is subsiding, and in other regions as well. Why do some others still actually believe in it? Is it also still the issue of the mindset and the culture and things that we really have to, divorce with them along the way? But like I said, that's an expert conversation that I would like to have. But my concern and the issue today is how you overcame this kind of challenges and still had your way through doing this. I mean, after that pain, after that injury, have you forgotten? Do you just say, all right, it happened, I will just move on, or is something that will really still carrying with you?
Well, so basically, I'm a victim, and then like I know, like I cannot really change it anymore within myself. But again, I have also taken up like this responsibility of like really sensitizing people around me as to as to the whole practice, and then like its own like health complications. According to some scientists or like according to some medical advices, that has been like pretty much going on around the continent. No, not just in Gambia. There has been like a whole lot of campaigns around like FGM apparently. So then, like for my own self, like, I think what I really decide right now is just like to change the narrative. Let us say like for the next generation to come, that is myself, and then like so many other people out there that like this practice is gonna it is gonna be normal like into like existence, right? So then let us say like if I am to have my own family someday, and then now I now have my own kids. If I am to have like a female kid, she is not going to be mutilated. So I think like that is where like changing the narratives starts from. I am a victim already, but again, I will not really allow like the next person close to me to be a victim. So that is how I really endeavor like to really change it and then still put a stop to it.
Mhm. All right, but you're sitting on the organization of so many youths. You've, I mean, been awarded so many awards. You've also been invited, from the U.S. federal government to actually talk on this. Was it an invitation to talk about this, or it was an invitation because, like I see in the U.S., I don't think these are issues that occur there. Why was the invitation on the U.S. to talk about this? What was the concern?
For my US trip.
Yes,
Okay. So for my US trip, that was way in 2014.
yes.
Like I got selected out of other 100 plus students. at the American
Mm-hmm.
Embassy for a whole exchange program, referred to as the Pan African Youth Leadership Program, whereby like
Beautiful.
we are the yes, so like basically we were the first cohort um to go to Washington DC, Chicago, and then Oregon, and then like it was just more or less like a whole exchange program where I was opportunity like to meet other like African brothers and then like sisters, and then we were all like put through leadership training, entrepreneurship, and then like livelihood skills, and then like at the end of the day we were all tasked to like identify like an issue within within our own communities, and then still like drafted, have it all like in a whole vanguard, design it as to like the root causes of those problems, how can we solve it, and then like like what's the future. So then basically I could remember choosing violence against women, basically
Mm-hmm.
because of like from my own story, I can really like explain a lot, like regarding violent, like injustices that have been happening like to women, and then just like I'm trying to like promote women empowerment in my own way. So then I could remember while we were in Chicago, I really like put up like a whole poster talking about three main issues of FGM, rape, and then like sexual molestation. Like these were my three things that I really wanted to look at, because of like I feel that there are so many issues affecting a woman, especially when we talk of rape, which which happens to be a whole bigger problem within the Gambia and then like Africa as well. If we talk of sexual violence, obviously it is all being categorized under rape. But again, why I really focused on rape was because of like there's a whole concept, like there's a whole thing regarding rape. If you say rape, it is it is like a huge topic, like for just like want to focus on. And again, if you talk about violence, like violence against women, it was not just talking about only sexual violence, but again like women being like given the chances, amplifying their voices. And I think so far I have been like pretty much engaged as to as to so many advocacy platforms, and then like volunteering with so many organizations in the Gambia, whereby I can say right now that there has been like a whole drastic change as to like women taking up leadership positions, women getting into politics. Apparently, was it like in 2016 when we were having our own president parliamentarian elections? That was in 2017. There was like that whole drastic change of seeing women into the parliament. So then, like as I speak right now, we are having like our own speaker at the National Assembly is a woman, which is for the first history in the Gambia, right? If you also look at like one of our mayores heading like the capital Banjul is a woman. So there is that whole drastic change when it comes to like women like representation into like politics, into like decision making. So I think it is like really like a whole cause, and then I believe that we can really get there someday, whereby like we will really see women on the forefront.
Beautiful. I want to congratulate your mentor and your sponsor, whom you say is watching us. I mean, that's an incredible support to have led or to have accompanied Aisha through this journey of her life, amazing journey, I call it, because from what she's coming, she's going to be the president of Gambia. And we already can feel that spirit in her. And nobody becomes that just from, going to all this top institution without going through the process of change. We have to also come to the process of change ourselves, experience it, unfortunately. But then that's the only way we can become the best teachers from our experiences, of course. And today we see a leader that is sitting right here in front of us already. I already have one candidate, Honorable Ousman Touray from the Gambia. But of course, we are also anticipating that you are going to be also standing on that candidature, particularly if it comes to motherhood and how we raise a boy and a girl child in the community in the future, what it has to look like. Now, we are talking, you're dealing on three aspects. I mean, I've had guests or met situations where I have to deal only with one. It is either the circumcision process, or it is either the child early child marriage, or it is either the non or the refusal for education for the girl child. But you're dealing with all these three aspects. I've never had somebody that has had to come through these three processes at the same time. How do you feel now? How do you feel being the champion of this? And when you go and you're talking to people, do you still cry?
Well, like I feel, how would I put it? Okay. Um, I just feel, will I say, really proud of myself. For one reason, like being the fact that, like I said to you from the start, that it has been like a whole rough journey for me,
Mhm.
right? With so many challenges, surrounding it, but I still want to make it true. And then like I am still here. Like I told you, I never thought that I was really gonna complete even high school, and then I did. I was never like I did never thought that I will like even have my foot inside like my university. But today I am actually in my third year. So I think for me, like I just feel honored that I really have to go through like all these phases of life. But again, like but again, like my whole like biggest legacy will be to really share my story, and then still inspire other people out there. Because like I am sure that like you still have so many other young girls out there who have really found themselves into whole unfortunate circumstances, or like homes that like they are still really struggling as to how best can they really get out of that zone, how how best can they really find their own comfortable zone, like like for them to really live their choices and then still like have their dreams come true. And then I am still also fighting through that. So I believe that with the power of stories, like stories being shared, you will be able like to inspire other people. And then like it will really take one story like for it to change somebody else's life. And I just hope that like with my story, I am just like able to touch so many lives today, that so that like they would just know that there is one girl from the Gambia, right, from the Gambia, who have really survived it through. So then there is no other barrier that they could like really see. So what I am really saying down here is that let them not see these challenges to be their barriers. Like let it be seen as like strengths for them to really push through and then still make it through with their lives. But everything is possible if you really believe in yourself. Because like I don't think that if I did not really believe in myself as well, it was really gonna be this this easy for me. Because like I really had to push through for me to get where I am today. I could have just slipped along the way, and then I could have been like a mother of four right now, or like a mother of three. But I really choose this path for myself, simply because I really want to change the narrative, simply because I really want to send the message out there that like if a guy can really, do it, like there's this whole common saying that if a if a man can do it, like a woman can do it. I'm not really saying it because of I know like once you say these certain things, people just get like a bit carried away as to like what do you mean if you say if a man can do it then like a woman can do it. That is not the point here. Like my point is, I know that like we do not have as much like opportunities as we think we do, but again we are the one that want to create it for ourselves and then still made it through our lives.
Of course, it's very deep, Aisha. Even when you say what a man can do, a woman can do, it's already a physical challenge. I don't know where all this is always coming up, this insecurity when the females would address themselves like that. You're fighting a lot of battles. Let's be clear on this. Yes, you are, because if we were given or you're given equal opportunities as your brother, then you wouldn't even have to fight. I mean, your brother is, for instance, has all those privileges, has to go to school, is obliged to go to school or whatever. And then you don't have to even go to school. So you still have to fight those challenges, but then still meet up with that. Another aspect that I want to pull it across is like we don't need to apologize for anything for saying when you say so. It is what it is, and we will not move an inch if we don't address these issues the way it is. We're not politicking anything or trying to put anything. It is the way it is. If we have to change these things, something has to be said and said it the way it is live. We're not sugarcoating or diplomatically asking for a request for us, so we have to twist their story. No, it's our own stories, and we're looking for a better Africa, how we can actually simultaneously make some bring some solutions on the table that are affecting the challenges that we're currently dealing with that is not healthy or progressive in any way. But if you look at the role your mother played, and I think that legacy that you're talking about is actually on that. In another circumstances, take a case study. Women that also, or mothers that have gone through that, would just succumb and tell you, my daughter, no, it is. You have to do it because it's the custom, it's the tradition. I also had to do it, so you need to do it. There's no question about it. Have succumbed, particularly in these cases, and they would even be the one to oblige you to change your decision. But that was not the case with your mom, right?
Yes.
You hear me?
I think there's a connection cut from your end. You were breaking when you were
Can you hear
talking
me?
earlier. Sorry. Yeah, sure. I can hear you now clearly.
You hear my question?
No, I missed some part of it. Can you please go back?
All right. I like your mother is she would have obliged you to like this is what we go through. It's our culture, it's our tradition. So you just have because I also had to do it. But that was not the case with your mother, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I think she's having and yeah, and she's freezing actually as we see. All of you that are watching this, we are talking about the incredible story of ISATOU Jallow, a very young Gambian activist and a girl that has been through all these challenges that are affecting the African girl child on the continent, everywhere, as I can say. And because we are on the Pan African Daily TV, our main goal is to look for those solutions to challenges that are affecting the Africa that we want culturally, spiritually, economically, and just as a functional people owning our own story. So even though most of the time we know that our culture, our history has been jeopardized by the colonizers, and so there are a little bit of or not little bit, mostly the education that we went through was miseducated, as a matter of fact. Yes, but of course, now we do on the process of actually researching into some of those challenges that we go through, not in this case or other cases as well, to find a way forward. What is the solution for the future? Like we look at those customs or traditions that we so-called, is it time also to actually like say some of them are not healthy or they're not economically productive to us particularly? Why should it really be targeted to a girl child? And so this idea of a girl is trained already into marriage at an early age or has to be tempered with at the age of 9. Of course, boys do go through as well, but we're talking about a general scenario. What is it that we should be looking for in the future or for the Africa that we want? Aisha, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you. Sorry, I think I got a bit disconnected with the connection.
It is all right.
Yeah, sure.
But you heard my question, right?
No, I missed some
Oh,
part of it. Some part of it you were
beautiful.
breaking.
It's okay. I was just trying to ask if we look at the role your mother actually played on in any normal circumstances when a mother goes through that and they kind of succumb to it, so they will even be the one to even push their daughters into it. Like it is the way I did. It is our culture. It is our tradition. We have to do it anyway. I also had to do it, so you have to do it. But that was not the case with her.
Yes. Like I said, basically, she was, like I said initially, she was not also educated literally, right? But I will always make sure, like, each time that I go for workshops and then like I have been enlightened and everything, when I come home, like she's the first person that I really talk to about it. And I do like, try to share a lot with her about just like trying to enlighten her as to like some issues and everything. And then like I think the main reason to why she did not also succumb like to those whole practices and then like beliefs was basically because she really believed in me. She really believed like in my journey. And then like she's the and like she was the, and like she was this person who always reminds me of my own potentials, that I am good to go, that like I will make this true and then I will make this happen. So then like for her it was like a whole different journey for her to really really succumb like to like certain cultural practices or like cultural beliefs, as many people will do. For her, she really believed in me. I cannot really tell like the reason why, but I could just sense that from her. And then like she keeps reminding me that she really believed in my struggles and then like in my own passion like for education. And then like she have really seen uh um like how much more like I am really willing to invest on my own just to like make my way through. So she was indeed supportive throughout the journey, and then she really believed in whatever that I did, that there was like there is always a whole good result that was really gonna come out. So she's
Mhm.
been like a push from the get-go.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, it would have been different if would you have changed your mind in any case if she had told you, right, baby girl, you have to do it?
All right. Like I have really much made up my mind about my life, about my career. Even though yes, I do like understand fate does comes in, but like since when I was like much more younger than that, I was just like quite ambitious about education. And then like for me there was just nothing that can really come on my way for me to like really make get through it. So then like basically I was also prepared mentally that like even if I did not really get any support from home and then like from like anyone, I will still find my way out through, and then like I will still have to fight it through on my own. So then like mentally and psychologically I was already prepared like for anything that comes, even if she was to succumb to their own beliefs or like to their own decision, it could have not still stopped me. I was still going to push for myself. And that was the zeal, and then that was the ambition for me.
Of course, we know that change is never, it never comes easy. There are a lot of things that, and a lot of processes that we'll have to go through, a lot that we'll have to break through. With others, it's a normal thing. But at your age and going through that, and in such a strong circle and space, I could really imagine. And that's why you're just different. You're born to do it. You are the one that is chosen to liberate your sisters or your mothers, even, in that kind of a process. So we do call it also, like, we do know it's a change management process. Now, Aisha, you are studying political science in the university and you're graduating to be a politician. Now, Your Excellency Aisha ISATOU Jallow, the first president of the Gambia, a female president or vice president, or together under the leadership with Ousman Touray. May I ask you, Your Excellency, what would be the first reforms that you would have to actually have to sit and look into it, for the generation and for your generation? What would your political plan look like when you get into office?
Okay, Susan, you are now like putting me on the spot because I didn't think I really discussed with you that I am really planning to really go into politics, right?
You're studying
Did I?
it. You did. You
Did
never
I?
told me anything, but I researched
But
for
you know, you put
myself.
me on the spot of really answering that question, right?
Of course, Madam Excellency. I'm just trying to be your guest and your audience And I'm really anxious to deep into your political mindset. Anyway, that is not very important because we're still going to be doing a lot of sessions on political ideologies and how the young people really look. But for me today, it was very important to share this amazing, incredible story of yours, how you overcame these processes that a lot of our young girls, or even intercultural differences, or even the boy child, they really find it hard to break processes that we inherit from our cultures, our traditions, or even from our elders, and to put a stop to it being so focused and so strong, and like saying it doesn't matter what opinion you would have, I will have to get what I think is best for me. And in that case, everyone is thanking you when you go making your talk. So you also had an award from Ghana and the other
Yes.
countries. When you go like an advocate and you're talking to them, tell me the reaction that you feel.
Well, so luckily enough for me, like for all the conferences that I have been like attending around, like around the continent, and then also in the US, I
Yeah.
am, I am, I am like usually the youngest. I am the baby of the group, right? Yes. So like I could remember when I was in Ghana, that was in like 2017 for the Young African Leadership Initiative RLC, RLC West Africa Ghana. When I was there, we were of like one. It was 125 participants, right? And then like
Mhm.
we were having countries like Nigeria, Gambia, like all the West African countries, more of just to just to be sure. So like you have 125 participants, and then like I was the youngest in the group, right? And then I was also in one of the whole civic largest class, that was like the civic engagement class, where you had like almost half of the like participants. We are more or less into community work and then like community service. So they normally tease me, and then like they will just ask me, at this age, like at this age you are here. When I was at your age, I wasn't really thinking about traveling like for conferences, or just like attending such forums. Instead, like I was into this partying life and everything. So for me, I really feel like, will I say, I really feel like to be of a different person, in the sense that like I travel, and then like people look at me, and then they are like, at this age you're doing this, at this age like you're here. I really see myself like to be a different breed, in the sense that like I have also like got to believe that it does not really define like your own potentials, as a girl child, or like being a male child as well. As far as you can just like push for what you want, you can still go in for it. That is the most important thing. So then in most cases, like people find me very much inspirational, according to the feedbacks that I have had from people. Like I have people who come to me, and then like will tell me, you know what, I am really much thrilled with your story. I am really much impressed with you. Like at this age you are able to do this. You are like able to achieve this far. So fast forward to that, while I was in Yali RLC, Ghana, 2017, when we were doing our whole graduation ceremony, and then like normally they will do, like a whole selection process. It is like a whole fair process of selecting people, and then it does not come as a whole decision, like from the high table, I will call it. Instead of that, it should be like a whole voting process among like the participant, about like selecting awardees. I walk into this hall and unexpected, like preparing myself to cry, simply because I was gonna miss my friends. I've been there like for a month. I have really made friends from Nigeria, from Sierra Leone, from Ghana, from like Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, and then just like having to say goodbye. So I walked into that hall. They were really calling on awards, and then guess what? It was not the leadership award, and then I had my name mentioned. I was like, no, this is way out of this world for me, because I wasn't expecting that to come. And I went and picked my award, and that was it. So then, like basically, I remember like at then we were just 10 people from the Gambia who left like for that conference, and then I really had to brought home that big award for Gambia. That was the Yali Leadership Awardee 2017. That really meant a lot for me, and then like it really like give me a reason why I should really stick to my journey and then still keep pushing. Because like it also give me like that whole vision of there is more to come on my way. And that is where I am right now.
Oh, so many awards, and then pulling up the flag of Gambia, bringing such pride to Mother Africa, and from a princess and a daughter warrior that is facing those challenges in a putting on a smile and has never shed a tear and has never regretted the journey she's making, and she's just pulling every force with her. Aisha, I have a big surprise for you.
Woo. What is
Of
it?
course, we would also be giving you an award as usual, but who is your preferential? I mean, Gambia is one of those places now where every of us, our heart is beating and looking at the young people taking over that country, not taking over in terms of, I mean, taking responsibility in redefining, in contributing to actually support the work out there to pave a way for a greater picture of the Africa that we want. Now, if you look at the youth, Pan African youth and voices in Gambia, not even only recently, we know only one. I don't know, maybe you know others. Who comes to your mind, and what is your who is your role model?
In the Gambia,
Yes,
my role model.
yes, for the youth
Okay.
advocacy, Pan Africanism. Who is your model?
In where like in Gambia here.
In Gambia, yes.
Yes, my role model has been only one person, and that is Ndengone Jeng.
Yes,
She's a whole legal lawyer right now. She was just called to the bar. Was it sometime last year? And like I met her, I did met her during my junior school, where I did had her share her story, and then each time that I like look at her, I see power. Like I see that empowered woman. I see that stoic woman in her. And then like looking at how far she have came, and then like the main contributions that she have done in Gambia's, regarding is a big blow for me. And then I think she might be like watching, because I did like send her the flyer. So for me, she has been my biggest inspiration. She's one person that I do look up to a lot. And then from her like personality traits and everything, that is so much so that I do admire her for. She's hardworking, she's focused, and then she's that strong woman, who keeps like giving, giving girls and women like that power, that spirit of not really giving up, that spirit of so for me, she's been my biggest inspiration, and I really get to be this much, like, sorry, like I did like really get to be this much of a whole extrovert thanks to her. I really used to be a very shy person, but when she speaks, I could still remember that first day I just hugged her in tears, and from that day I really made a promise to myself that I really need to be outspoken as she is.
beautiful, beautiful. Of course, role models need a role model, isn't it? Now you role model, and now you're also a role model to all the others. I mean, it's so exciting. And Gambia, hey, thumbs up. Like I said, we have a very big surprise for you. Someone who also has been very articulate and focused, and is following your work, appreciates you on the journey that you're taking,
Oh,
and thinks also that, it is very come from both sides, whether it's from the cultural aspect or from the economic or cultural or political aspect. It is relevant that the youth of Africa actually embrace this advocacy and awareness. And so, yes, your surprise is right here. And we would like to bring him on the show, or her on the show, and so we continue the conversation. So please welcome with us, Ousman Touray is right here.
oh, hello.
um,
Hi,
Good to
uh,
see you.
beautiful. And Thank you, Dr. Susan. I must say that the show is educative, interactive, and I celebrate my dear sister Aisha too. I'm meeting her or I'm meeting her for the first time, but I am glad and I am so happy and proud of you. And I've seen the challenges and the journey you've taken, but trust me, we are proud of you and we look forward to doing so many productive things. And this is a service that we owe to our people and to our generation and to generations of Africans to come. And having the likes of yourself to take this stand at a very early age, not just taking it, but to take such a stand with passion, doing it because you love doing it because you know that there is thousands of young people out there who doesn't have mediums to put their voices. And today you have spoken for all those individuals. And that is great of you. And I celebrate you and I wish you well in this journey.
Thank you.
And Dr. Susan, thank you so much for pulling out such a wonderful and a beautiful young lady. This is just amazing. Thank you. I should.
Yeah,
Thank you
but
very
but,
much.
but honorable, just take a seat. We would also like to celebrate you, of course. It is about Gambia. It is about the young people that are really in the focus in terms of advocacy and changing those narratives from themselves, for themselves, and also for their communities and the communities at large. Thank you also for honoring our invitation despite your very, very tight schedule, Honorable Ousman, and for you to come here to support your sister and to say it's the journey that is the future that we are looking forward. Now, I just have a few questions. Have you listened to her story, right?
Yeah. Yes, I was following.
All right. And you like I was saying, I could see the president, a woman, and the vice president, a man, or vice versa, whatever it is for Gambia in some years to come. Gambia is actually rooted. Now, where do you think this awareness starts and ends? Do you see a change, and you see many voices and young people rising up in advocacy that it's actually the way we should be going?
Yes, Dr. Susan, I just want to say this before in fact going deep into the answer. I will be very proud to work under her administration. And
Ah,
just to bring this is that this is the kind of a discussion that we need to have among ourselves as young people in order to save the narratives. A lot has been bad with our systems. A lot has been bad with the systems in which we've adopted during colonialism and after colonialism, after our relation with the outsiders, be it the Arabs, be it the Chinese, be it the Europeans, and etc. So I believe that these are the discussions that we should have been having like 50 years, 60 years ago. Then by now we would have been at least somewhere different from where we are now. And unless and until a mutual understanding, mutual respect is promoted between the boy and the girl child in our societies, then we will
mhm.
always have a challenge in making sure that the future that we want is well shaped and well defined. And this is the beginning because I want to understand that today it may somehow be an opportunity for us to be here and to share this experience and stories. But there are thousands of girls out there who have gone through a similar situation and yet they don't have any medium to put their voices in. And there are thousands of boys as well. There are thousands of Africans who go through similar struggles, but yet their
Mhm.
voices are not heard. And unless and until this debate is bringing the young populace in making sure that the boy and the girl child no longer see each other as competitors, or no
Correct.
longer see each other as rivals, or no longer see each other as threats, but we promote that mutual understanding. We promote that partnership among ourselves in knowing that it is a collective responsibility that we have to save our generation, to save the continent, to save the black individual into something positive, into something that is going to enhance the development that we all desire. Then we will always see some challenge. We have to equally understand that the development has to be inclusion, and it being inclusion means no sector or no particular gender has to be left behind. And that is why it is important for us to promote, understanding, for us to promote research among ourselves, for us to try and dig in to understand what do individuals go through if they have such stories in their early childhood development. This is trauma. So many individuals are affected because the way in which such practices are done, in so many instances you come to realize that, there is a lot that the girl child undergo in some societies in the continent, and we have to bring solutions to that. And bringing solutions mean putting this awareness campaign, but getting individuals that have gone through this to come up and be bold enough to share their stories and be bold enough to shape a new narrative. This is possible, and it is only our generation that I am optimistic of to have such power and such energy to make it work. So I believe that this is the beginning, and the ending means we all have to be victorious. Thank you.
Absolute. I like this aspect, and exactly that's the reason why we decided to do it. I mean, if you look, like we heard from some scholars, it's not about gender based who does what. It's about complementing each other. You see that happening, right?
Exactly. We have to understand that in order for us to move, there is the need for us to complement each other. There is the need for us to support each other. There is the need for us to stand, you know, for one another. Because that is what collectivism is. That is what building a society is. But if we do not support each other, if we do not build such energy and try to make sure that we have mutual respect, we promote and enhance the development of every individual, shaping societies where every individual have a chance to realize their full potentials, their capabilities. That is what our development ought to be. And that started by complementing, empowering, supporting each other as a people.
This is amazing. It's amazing because, like you said, it's a start, of course, because when all these principles come, if the female marginalized, or yes, I mean, going through these issues, we also have circumcisions for the men as well, but we also have the marginalization of the boy child. You believe in that, or you think it's just all about privileges?
Yes, to be realistic, Dr. Susan, in Africa, so many group of individuals are being marginalized, and the boy child is also going through a similar situation. I can tell you this. I started schooling, for instance, in a remote village in the Gambia, whereby even to see a tar road, you have to walk like 7 kilometers to see a road that is fully constructed. I started a school under a tent. I mean, you look up, all you see was grasses. And that means, most of the young people in Africa as a whole have not been given the opportunities and given the atmosphere through which we can realize our full potentials. When we go into our respective villages, when we go into our respective societies, no, it is only very few people who are found maybe in certain part of the city, and even in the city, it's not everybody. We still walk around some cities in Africa and you see small kids begging on the streets, both boys and girls. That is not their place to be. These are individuals who should be in schools. But in one way or the other, there is a system that fails them. So I believe that it is true that the girl child goes through like very difficult stories across the continent, and that has been common. But equally, the boy child is also affected in so many ways. And you don't build a society by just focusing on one sector or one gender or one region.
Absolutely.
It has to be
Yes.
inclusive. We have to make sure that the education has to promote and enhance the development of every child in Africa, and also to give the same opportunity to the institutions to do the same. Because sometimes the girl child suffers more in some areas. Because, for instance, you can come from a society in which, as a boy, and a girl, you may all be denied the chance to go to school. But to some extent, the boy can go and do some other skill work that is going to at least benefit them to a certain extent, and girls are not given such opportunity. What they end up doing is, that's why you see early marriage common in certain parts of the continent, and they are not allowed to participate in some productive, sectors and etc. And another thing also that really affects both the girl and the woman in Africa is that in most of the sectors that they venture in, we look at them as the informal sector, for instance. And in fact, it is not properly organized, not properly structured, and this affects their livelihood because the contributions that they do or the contributions that they are genuinely providing to the economy is not even well, shaped in a way that they can know with pride that this is their contribution to the nation's development. In most cases, the women who sell carrying plates, things like that on the streets, we look at them as the informal sector. And these are the individuals who are contributing greatly in our economy. They are the same people paying the tuition fee for their kids. If you go to the Gambia, for instance, that is very common. I mean, there was this particular day, like I was going to the city in Banjul, and I just looked around the right side. I saw a lot of women who were there busy, on granite shells that have already been removed from the factory, trying to get something out of it. I was with my brother, and then I said, "Can we just walk in there because I want to ask some few questions?" And when I asked one of the ladies, like, "Why are you here? And what are you provided back home?" She was like, "Yeah, I mean, my child is in school." And imagine they will spend there more than 8 hours in a day under the hot sun, and all that they are trying to do is to pay a tuition fee. And you understand that this is a big challenge. So that is why I'm saying the challenge is not only in the province. It is true that there is poverty in the province, but we equally have urban poverty. We equally have in the urban centers where women are contributing greatly and they are still not recognized. So these things are common in the Gambia. You go to other countries in Africa, you see them, and something needs to be done. And that is building our sectors, building our economy, structuring our systems in a way that it is inclusive and it recognizes the contributions of every individual into the greater part of our society and to the greater good of us as a people.
All right. I think I love the energy and the spirit of which we're going. We're not going to go into deeper who is doing what or who's not doing what. Those are things that we'll have to put into trainings to begin to see how we actually would pave this agenda. But what was very relevant today is to particularly like you have also the boy child address these differences that the girl child is going through and vice versa. So it's not like, okay, I have to say things that only pertain to me, but it's a collectivism of the issues. Why should I even be pushed into that early marriage? Because in the idea that no, the man would have to go to school and get skilled to provide for the family, but at the end of the day, the woman still has to go to feign on the market to pay tuition. So what actually were you doing? So those are also the issues that we have to look into building the Africa, sit on one another, talk on these things, face our challenges by ourselves. It's not enough to just go out and we advocate. It's enough really like to know this is the challenge that we have, but how are we putting the structures behind like trainings and seminars and workshops, teachings, putting it even on our curriculum? Should that be a problem, Usman, in the school curriculum?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you see, coming down into our educational system, we have to understand that the curriculums in most cases are designed in a way that it doesn't do most of the important part or most of the important aspect of our society is not even captured. When we talk about the culture, educating more on what needs to be done, what is better for the greater good of the society, the social capital, and things like this are not captured in whatever we learn in school. And again, we also have to understand that in most cases, you can go around the continent, you come to realize that in our early childhood development, not many schools actually teach individuals on relevant issues like skills, what we need to share as individuals, and what are some of the things that we can do to drive a genuine livelihood. So, in most cases, these are big challenges, but again, the solutions are here with us. The fact is that today, with all the politicians across the continent, be it presidents, be it ministers, permanent secretaries, people working on the educational ministries and etc., they are aware of all these realities. It's not that they're not aware of them. And what needs to be done is action, channeling our words, our ideas, our research papers, You go to every ministry, there are beautiful papers put in place. Research have been done, policy papers have been developed, but people are just not acting on them. And that is necessary. And we also have to understand that the advocacy we're doing is just one thing. But are we, role model enough to impact and to give that sense of responsibility, across the continent among young people in taking up challenges as well among ourselves? So it is important that we talk about these things, but it is also important that we all have a kind of an impact that we are doing at our local, or be it in the school in which we are, be it in this village or in the town in which we are, trying to come up with initiative or innovative ideas that are going to make sure that these things or they become a thing of the past. And workshops are one of them, seminars are one of them, but a lot can be done. And politicians also have to make sure that these are the central debate of the 21st century. If individuals cannot campaign on this basis, telling us how to reconcile, our development, telling us how to reconcile the gap between the boy and the girl child, telling us how to bring about, changes in making sure that our developments are inclusive, why do we need to hire them?
Mhm.
So we have to
Okay.
understand that the consciousness has to be there, but we have to do all that we can to make sure that these ideas, these discussions, is put as well in before policy development, and also to make sure that implementations happen.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Usman, for coming in shortly on this show and to congratulate your sister, Aisha. How do you feel just getting your brother and actually accepting all the things that he's been saying? Do you really see that in your generation happening where the conferences would be a boy girl child conference where we exchange these views to find a common way forward? Aisha.
Yes, sure. Like I do also share like the same view like with Honorable Usman today, as you just put it. Thank you very much, Usman. That was like a whole packed up, and then like I just hope that politicians across Africa are just also listening. I do also like share the same view that there should be like a whole different approach as to our advocacy level, and then like trying to like understand like the whole entire grassroots from the start before just sitting and then like just making decisions and then like coming up. So I think basically like one of our biggest setbacks as like Africans has been that we do not really engage people that have been like affected. We are just like good at sitting down at a whole comfort zone and then like just making up decisions and then like forming policies. So I think instead of like using like this whole top bottom approach, it should be like the bottom top approach, whereby like you will have amplify their voices, get to know get to know their own concerns, their own problems, and then still drive solutions, and then like establish ways towards like getting those problems solved. So on the issue of creating equal opportunity like for both sex also like comes along a lot. So then like apparently there has been like a much more focus on, let us say, like focusing on like women's right and everything. But again like there are also chances of it will also get to a point that we will also want to like drag in the like drag in men and then boys into the same field. So I think
Mhm.
right now what we can do as Africans, it's like to have like a synergy whereby like we are going to have these two sexes or like these two genders in the same roof, and then like have them discuss and then still get to understand their own different perspective with regards to their opportunities, and then like to their own privileges. I believe that with that we can really get to the whole solution of this like problems.
Absolute. Osman, you've been sharing that same view because the idea is we're talking about unity, the unification of Africa or the unity amongst ourselves. And we see that most of these agendas, they don't unite us, they disconnect us even further. So there has never been a situation where, like in what I know in the ancient African culture or in our culture, we sit together. There's never been, okay, this one is for the girls, this one is for the men, and then we talk. But now when we see the privileges and the marginalization, so it is a very common rule that we will sit in the compound, all of us together, and the girl express what I think is not right, and the boy would also express what I think is not fair, and then we look for a way forward, isn't it?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
so
Yes.
I definitely agree,
Yes.
with the fact that the need for us to sit down, and make sure that we have this discussion among ourselves and see the way forward. Because I mean, basically, to most of us that grew up in provincial villages, the idea of what we thought of was like poverty, or seeing girl child that are being marginalized, or a boy child was only a characteristics of a poor society, like provincial villages and etc. But when we go deeper into, going to school in the cities, interacting with individuals, we came to realize that this is a systematic, development that was imposed on
Absolutely.
our people, and they never get the
Yes.
chance to correct it because it is not inclusive. You go to provincial, or you go to like the towns, the cities, you still see disadvantaged individuals. You see individuals who really need support and nothing is done about it. That the system has turned their back on them. And I think if we really want to move forward as Africa, as a people, these are some of the things that we really need to redefine, starting from our education system, because most of it is just a mentality issue. I mean, it is just instilled in us by the same way in which we educate ourselves. There is separation. The books we read, some of them tells us that this particular gender, fits here more, and this particular gender doesn't fit in the other side. So a lot needs to be done. We need to redefine the knowledge, the education that people receive in school, but we equally need to redefine who leads in the continent. Let us be realistic. I mean, there's been a lot of talks on leadership. There's been a lot of issues. Going back to the Gambia, for instance, sometimes I look at the system and cry because what most of the women does is just to chant behind politicians, clap during campaign, do everything, and yet once ever they're in power, they never see them. You go to our National Assembly, you know, very few, you know, a very small portion, of the National Assembly is composed of women. You go to the cabinet, is a similar thing. And this happens in the whole systems, be it in the private and in the public sector. And likewise in the Gambia, it happens in many other African countries as well. So a lot needs to be done in making sure that we sit down and set a new trajectory if we really want to move forward. And that includes building unity, love, and support, understanding that supporting the girl child, supporting the boy child, bringing us, having that
Yes.
mutual respect and understanding among each other is a way forward to the African development. Because this is what is going to spark that sense of responsibility among ourselves. Today, there is nothing that I can bring to the Gambia that ISATOU Jallow cannot bring to the Gambian people. And this is the understanding that we need to have. And that is the same thing that every girl child in the Gambia, be it in the city, the daughter of the president, the daughter of the least farmer in the Gambia, they all have equal chance. And that is how our
Obviously.
system needs to be shaped. We have to understand that we're not threats to each other. We complement each other, we support each other, and that is how we can build our systems.
Absolutely. This so perfect. This so correct. That's why I say, and I like the first statement you say, "Oh, I don't have a problem serving on the heart." I mean, it is what come out from how we define them and how they're going to be looked upon. And I find this combination the perfect Pan-African spirit of solving our challenges by ourselves, not against each other. I look at the former of going to talk about the things that happen, just like what they call a watering can, like you just water something, and then even it's even more divisive than bringing people. Is like, oh, I am a victim, like we all. Oh no, I am not the victim. The right way is, how do we move together? Now I'm coming back to you, Aisha. Do you see the fact that Africa is really at the poverty level because of the restriction of the other gender to take some responsibilities, which is being shouldered only on the men? Isn't
Sorry,
that one of the reasons why Africa is really poor?
sorry. Can you please go back to the question? You were kind of breaking. I'm sorry.
Okay, the question is, I know, uh, do you see poverty, the level of poverty, even in our communal development and everything, as a reason why, or the reason for the poverty level is because, the marginalization of the girl child or the other gender that are not given those opportunities to contribute directly to the economic sector of the country? All these
Yes.
limitations. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Like I do. I can remember when what my own like colleague just said. Usman. Regarding like certain like instances whereby privileges of like education is been given to like the boy child than the like girl child, simply because of like they will feel that like if you do like if you to like really spend like on the boy child's education, he might really make it through, and then like he can really bring greener pastures more compared to the woman, because of like there is this whole concept of women are just been meant to be in the kitchens, or like like they are just been meant to be like given away like to their husbands and everything. So then, like in most cases, if you do not have like a whole balanced family setting, you have like you do have both your kids, be it male, be it children, they are all like equally educated. They can still go and then bring in greener pastures. But like it is just only one person who is just doing it in the family. That person is gonna go bankrupt someday because of, let us say, like we all know that families in Africa are huge. Let us say like if you have 7 kids, and then like there's just only one boy there, and then like you are having 6 girls out of those one boy, and then like all these 6 girls happens to depend on that like one male child that have really made it through. How is it gonna be? That person is really gonna get bankrupt with time, because of like he has to solve almost 7 issues at the same time. If there is like a whole festive event, he has to spend on all of it. If there is a whole medical issue, he will have to spend on the medical aspect. He will have to parent. He will have to take care of the mom, the kids, and any other person. So I think like there are still like imbalances. That is why we still have poverty within Africa, until and unless we change this whole approach, or like these whole misconceptions around us. We are just gonna be doomed into poverty, and then like nothing is gonna get started. No, we will move as a continent. This really needs to be discussed, and then like parents down there like should really understand why they should give like equal opportunities to both the male child and the female child in their homes, if they really want to see progress, if they really want to drive away poverty within our zone.
I like it. I will ask Osman the same question because it's like, even the narrative that we're saying we have to change, I always look at the opposite of it. If I look at the less privileged in our construct and the way the world is putting it, the boy child is the less privileged than the female child. We will take into these things, like I said, we're going to be doing really one-on-one and group trainings, and I can prove every point of everything that I'm saying. But why is always the communication and the narrative directed to the girl child? That is the problem in this construct, right? Osman, you are a man, and you are obliged to, just if you list your roles like a man in the community, in the setup of those things that we all consider as privileges, and then you still see that you have to get a wife, and you even have to get more women, for instance, in that case, and you have to be responsible for yourself as a father, as a leader, as a community provider, and you have to be responsible for your wife, you have to be responsible for the family of your wife, and all of these small things that make it. Do you consider that a burden or a privilege?
Actually, looking at that, it can't be a privilege unless one doesn't understand the burden that they're putting on themselves. But I believe that a more equal society means a society in which both men and women contribute greatly, and all contributions are genuinely recommended and respected. So
Absolutely.
I will want to grow up in a society in which, both men and women have equal responsibilities, equal participation, be it at the home, be it at the society, the community, at the national level, at the international level. And this is what I seek, to advance. That is the discussions, that is the actions through which any moment I get the power to make sure that this becomes a reality across the continent, I'll definitely make it work. But for now, as long as I have my voice, I'm definitely going to make all that I can to advance these discussions across the continent and even beyond. But we have to
Absolutely.
understand that there is no development, there is no genuine development in the world that is built in the absence of women participation. And it is very important that we realize that as we are now, trying to shape a trajectory for the future of the continent, and make sure that that is inclusive and socially, women, men, the girl child, the boy child, every individual in the society is given the same opportunity in making sure that they have a stand, they have a contributions, and their contributions are genuinely respected and recommended as well. Because in most cases, this is what happens. We have great women who contribute greatly in our history, in our civilization, in our political space, but we do little to talk about them. We do little to bring them out there for the girl child to look at them as a reference point, for individuals to look at them and say, because of this particular lady, I want to be top there. Because of this particular, as she said, I mean, I was really thrilled that she could choose another young lady or another lady in the Gambia as her role model. That is what we need. We need to bring them out. We need to make sure that
Yes.
we recommend their contributions, and that is how it can impact. And I'm so glad that today many other Africans are equally looking to Dr. Susan Tata as their role model. And this is what we have been looking for. We just want to see a society that promotes, equality, a society that promotes, mutual understanding and mutual respect among ourselves as a people. But I genuinely believe that everybody having a contribution and having a good livelihood that gives them genuine income is going to reduce the burden on many individuals. Instead of me acting like the big man syndrome, saying, yes, I provide for 20 people, why not give those 20 people the equal opportunity to, provide for the rest of the world? I mean, life has to
Absolutely.
be done.
Correct.
Yeah, so
We getting it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Usman. I mean, it can be said more appropriately. Thank you for just, coming up to complement this conversation, because it's not really about, some kind of empowerment of one. We need both. We need ourselves. We need to complement each other. We're building a united front, a unity, who does what, who is capable of what, and who takes the role without any, restraints and constraints. So thank you so much for coming. I know you still owe us a show. There's been a lot going out there on your program, but we're going to find time and catch up on that, Honorable. I know your time, you're busy, man. You're sitting on so many organizations there, like a global outreach ambassador in every capacity. Congratulations, my Honorable, and keep up the good work. But we will still have to get you to have some other pertinent discussions that have been on the ground for some time. So let us know where you have time, and I'll get back to you. So thank you for being here.
okay, thank you so much, Dr. Susan, and I am also glad to be here with you. And to my sister ISATOU Jallow, keep it up, keep being you. And
Thank
there's a lot
you.
going on in the Gambia. I was there 2 weeks ago, and it's a lot of challenge, but keep enlightening to the people. We have our elections coming later this year, and it's a lot of challenge because I mean, similar to many other African countries, there's a lot of tension, but you are the youths that own the narratives. Go there, save it, vote wisely, educate among yourself, tell people the good message that they need to hear. And thank you for being, a national ambassador. I am
Whoa,
proud of
thank you
you.
very much,
Thank you,
Usman.
Dr. Susan. Thank you.
I'm
Thank you,
proud of you
Usman.
too.
Yes. All right. Aisha, I
Yes.
mean, I'm laughing because you see Usman saying, you, the young people. of course,
Yes.
younger in your generation, and your elections are coming, and there's going to be a lot of work on the ground. What will you be focusing doing with your advocacy and your seminars to prepare the vote of the election? It's
All
not
right.
about politics, it's just about change.
All right. Basically, there has been like a whole lot of civic like engagement. Like trying to meet people, telling them about their own voting rights, and then like, getting to just educate them like they should vote wisely about like choosing like their own leaders. They shouldn't choose like based on like ethnicity, based on based on like party politics, but like instead let it be like for a whole general national benefit, or like for all national interest. Because like at the end of the day, we are the ones that who are going to cast our votes, and then like we will still have to decide. And then this is going to be my first time of voting, so I've already got my voters card with me, and this is going to be the first time that I'm really going to cast a vote. So it's been like a long way. So December 4th, I'll be having my voting card, and I will go and cast the vote for the right person, of course, and then for the person that like really holds the national interest of this country at heart. Yes. So that is it.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Aisha. And we wish you all the best for you and in the Gambia. What is it that you want to end up the show with? And like, I don't know if there's some people that want to call in and make some recommendations or some questions, or to, on this topic that we're talking about. What is it that Africa should learn, or the young people, in terms of this kind of secular cultures? How do we move without being seen as, okay, now you're inheriting some lifestyles and coming to tell us what we knew before? What is the role of the elder and the leaders, and to look also forward and say we are leaving a generation behind. We are going anyway, so we're not going to be here forever to determine how they're going to live their lives. What is it that is possible, particularly in terms of development, change, trends, technology, and that would accommodate the future? So that is the leadership also that we're looking forward to, you people out there in the Gambia, and we wish you all a very safe, healthy, peaceful elections out there. And yes, at the end of the day, we need to address these issues. What needs to be done? Who is sitting to do what? So the lines are open. If anyone has a question or a comment or a recommendation or just a support on the topic, you can call. You can call. If you're new here, then you know you're using the WhatsApp. You have to dial the +49 157 8211 2379. I know in the late we haven't actually been opening up these lines because it's a teaching time and we're learning a lot, listening a lot, and then we go move into the action. So yes. So Aisha,
Yes.
one last word before we would really actually be ending the show. And we want to thank you so very much for your contribution and your passion. But I think we have a call coming in, so I'd like to pick up the call before we move. Hello? 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 All right, I can see your call coming in, I think from Germany, but I don't hear you. I don't know if you're hearing me. I'm talking to the caller. Hello? All right, I think you have to call again. I'm sorry for that. Yes. Um, good.
Like you did ask me one question before I
Yes.
go to my final words for this
Yes.
interview about like if I am to be the next president, what is gonna be the first thing that I am gonna do?
Yes.
Like first thing that I'm gonna do is to make like education free for all, not just like making it free, but again like making sure that like we have the best curriculum at heart. At the same time, like there are so much equal opportunities like for both girls and then boys in schools as well, and then
Mhm.
like giving them the highest and then like the best quality of education. Because like as I speak right now, like I said, like in my own entire story about like my education journey, and then as I speak right now, I am currently at the University of the Gambia, and then like with no scholarship, and I am still like even trying to work harder, like just to like get my tuition fees paid. And then like I am sure that there are so many girls out there who really want to enroll into like university, but like due to financial means they cannot really have themselves, pursue what they want. So I think if I was to be a president in my, like in the coming generation, obviously, this is going to be one of my biggest implementations like for Gambia, and then I will also urge it like to my other African sisters across the continent. Um, yes.
Beautiful. Okay, Your Excellency. You see, now we are, I mean, we're saying something that is accurate because, like, you were like, oh. But you're strategic because, of course, you're on advocacy and you know exactly what you want. I mean, you're not studying political science to, I don't know, to be what? You're studying to be the president of Gambia. Am I wrong?
Maybe. Yeah, but I know like if I really have the means of making stuff for Gambia something big, it is gonna be on investing in education, like making education free. Like I said, I am still into university, but I will tell you I do not have any scholarships right now going on, right? So even though like I have the full support of other people, but like but I still like believe that other girls out there might not be as just privileged as me for them to really get to university. Perhaps they want, and then like so many other boys out there who really want to pursue their education, but due to financial constraints, they cannot really get through. And then like so obviously coming up like with this whole initiatives, it is also going to be like a whole big boost for our education system in the Gambia. And then I will also encourage like my other African sisters and brothers across the continent, like to like also have the same view, and then like with the same ambition of making education free, but still quality education is needed within our systems for us to get there. And then it should be typical African. It should not be anything from the West, also anywhere else, but it should be African, enriched in Africa, and then built in Africa. So that is just what we need for us to move as a continent. If we are like if we can really contextualize like our own nature, then like I do not really see like the way forward for us until and unless like we sit as Africans and then still realize that we have gotten enough within our reach for us to like really pave the way for our own development economically, right? Financially, right? And so many other ways that we can really get things done in our own way and then still be natural to ourselves.
I like that. I like that to say, yes, it has to be a curriculum that comes on from us. If you look at Gambia and the industries in Gambia, fishing is one of the most thing that I begin to say, I want to just go to Gambia, just to go and get a fresh fish. But
Yeah, you
yes.
I will invite you over. You want to visit Gambia now.
Okay. Of course, we are all Gambians. We are all Africans. Of course, any country, we are all that. So yes, thank you. Yes, now your roundup. Now I know your priorities. Education.
All right. Think thank you very much for having me on this show. This really means a lot for me, and then like I've been looking forward like to really have this big platform for me to really share my story, simply because like I believe that story sharing it is like one of the biggest ways of really impacting lives out there. And then like this have really gone beyond Gambia right now, because like I'll just call it international, because like having to have other people from the other sides of within Africa, like within the continent, like having to listen and then tune in, really like means a lot to me. And then like I just hope that I was really able to touch lives today. So my like I just said, we really need to feel like what we have like as Africans, and then like build a whole curriculum of African curriculum, and then still enrich our own education system by like making it free. I believe that like we can make it as Africans within our own continent, and then like without really having to copy or like really having to import anything from ourselves, because we are natural as Africans, and then like that is what have made us beautiful in and out. So it was great having me on your show today, Dr. Susan Tata, and then I really appreciate it. And then I'm also sending greetings like to everybody who have really tuned in. And then I'm also asking them, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and then let us support a sister. Thank you.
Wow. You are everything. I think it seems as if we can't even just round up the show. But anything, anyway, and Aisha, we were really focusing on your story as an empowerment or inspiration for any other young girl, child out there, or boy that feels, no, girl, child, particularly focused, that you can make it, or it's not possible, or you're just choked up, or you need help, or you need a voice, or you need somebody to even understand you, or you need somebody to see yourself in that person. And so just to understand that you are not alone, and the replica of everything. Nobody is in a situation alone. We're just multiplying anything that has happened. So you have actually been that torchlight today, and we are so grateful to see you in your young age go through all what you went through, but stood your grounds to say, this is exactly what I want. I think if we all Africans would just say, we want the Africa that looks like this, and we stick to it. It doesn't matter who is going to tell us anything. Nobody's going to change that perception that we're going to unite ourselves and own our narratives and own Africa and develop Africa. Yes, according to our own perspective, but of course, the world is global. So we're also going to learn international, all the things, how they do it, how they work. We're not going to function just like Africans alone on the planet. So we are all aware of all that. And so we're thanking you so, so very much, Aisha, for making it really on date to be with us. We know that you're putting out a lot of structures out here also. We also know that we're coming out also with agendas and programs and structures for you young people to train the trainer coaching. That's what we'll be doing in the next session. And you're already one of our trainers on the continent, particularly in the Gambia. We thank you so much for that. And
Thank you.
yes, more young people will be coming up. I like your spirit. I like your energy. This is not the last time you're going to be here. If you are on the Pan African Daily, you're already a part of the family. And so we'll be talking about other things and following up and keeping also in touch with you to find out how you are evolving. It's not only taking from you, but also giving you. Where is it that you need more support? How much competence do you still need? You're growing up, you will need a lot of mentorship and support as well. But just be aware that we are here. The Pan African Daily TV family is really here to back you up. And we want to thank all your supporters and your sponsors so far. Any one person that has contributed in the life of this young princess here, we thank you and we say that your lives will never be the same. You're just giving back to watering the Africa that we want. So we thank you so very much. And all your role models, we thank them for impacting your life and for being with us here tonight on this panel. So, yes, we see ourselves very soon, my dear princess, and we keep in touch, okay?
Thank you very much, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank
Aisha. Good. Fine. So, thank you also for tuning in your thousands of numbers. Yes. I mean, of course, this is a mainland continental show, but it's connecting. And actually, don't hear it from the posters. Don't read it on the cartoons. Don't see it in the way they present it to us. We're talking about from us to us, creating or seeking solutions to our challenges by us to us from us. So it is better to hear from the horse's mouth. That's what we're saying. We want to touch Africans that have these amazing stories of overcoming challenges in their own small way and bringing change. These are all, like Ousman said, there's no platform that will give voices to this amazing work that people like Aisha or Usman and all the others are doing on the continent. And that's why we always see ourselves small. We always see ourselves as if we're not doing anything. Of course, we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot, but who is saying it? Who is telling your story? Who is even stealing your work to produce and make money out of you? You're right. So it is time for us. We are woke already. We're not saying that we should wake up anymore. I want to thank all of you for joining, all of you for contributing, all of you for in the comment chat today. I saw a lot going on, and And it's very interesting to see the family when there are discussions that are actually about stories, how you pay attention and listen. Now, I want to say one very important thing before we end this show tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to have the conversation on Swaziland with Professor James Small. That is fixed and steady. And then there's a little change in the program. Normally on Saturday, we ought to have had Reverend Shock Philippe, but he's occupied or preoccupied with other things. So we're going to have King Maponga Joshua on Saturday come on the show. I think I did announce that yesterday, but he has confirmed officially to be on the show on Saturday with us. Yes. So, but storytelling is really part of our history. Most of the time we say Africans don't read books. Africans don't write books. African. Now, I want to give you a research or homework. Who are we? Why were we not writing books? What was our culture of passing over history? And this is exactly what we're doing on the Pan-African Daily TV, making history by passing the stories from one generation to the other. I come in with this point of eldership, the role our elders are playing here coming on the platform, like we had Reverend Dr. Ninana yesterday. It's very essential in the passation, the rite of passation of our history, right? And so it has come to our attention that because of this whatever setup, young people don't pay attention to the elders. And they look like, oh, that's old school, or that was the past, or he's just talking stories. But it's actually the process of us passing over our history from generation to generation through this experience. We don't read books, yes, of course, because that really was not an essential part of the African to sit and read books. We actually were a people to people passing over this culture. So please tune in your numbers tomorrow and let us listen to our professional expert and elder, Professor James Small, as he relates and pass over the history from the Swaziland, from his point of view, what we need to know. So we see ourselves tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you click subscribe and share the show. We're going to be with you this week until Saturday. We have 2 more days to go. Then we'll be taking a break to work on a lot of projects that we're putting out there for the young people and for ourselves. So thank you. We see us tomorrow. Good night. Bye-bye.